Welcome to Cycling Fashion Week. This is not AI. This is a real new episode with myself and Jake once again.
Real live humans.
Real humans.
And where's Tony again?
I don't know. He said he was going to make time for this because, well, we'll get to why, but he kind of dropped off shortly after saying that. Tony's a busy guy, 2 jobs, 2-year-old kid, you know.
And he's on the Toronto Maple Leafs bandwagon, I hear. So, very, very stressed out. Very in-demand guy.
He is, though he has made time to play in a men's league this summer, men's league hockey for our non-Canadian listeners, which means,
wow.
I said to Tony, it's like, you'd do anything to not ride a bike.
That's insane. Yeah, I hear he's big into pickleball too. There's a rumor.
He loves pickleball.
He does.
This is a good way to get him on the podcast to say he loves pickleball.
Bullying usually works.
Tony loves pickleball. You heard it here first. Send DMs to us about how much Tony loves pickleball.
And if we give Tony's home address, you can send him pickleball merchandise and brackets. So we'll maybe drop that somewhere. Maybe.
Yeah, check the show notes for Tony's home address to send him pickleball attire. He loves free stuff. On that note, actually, we recently were contacted by an, I'll call upstart cycling eyewear brand, and they've offered to send us some sunglasses for review. That's why Tony said he could make himself available so that he could try some sunglasses and try them out. The company's called Vinco. We haven't got the product yet, but we'll do that and we'll do a review, and hopefully that will make us record again relatively soon.
Exactly.
And maybe Tony will even show up, maybe.
Although I don't know, he hasn't had glasses in hand yet, so
that's true.
It's TBD. They might be good for pickleball, though. They might be a good look.
He just wants them for playing pickleball. We get emails and DMs still saying people miss the podcast, et cetera, which is great. Thank you. Sorry we haven't recorded in a while. But just on that note, if you weren't aware, I've posted about it on Instagram a few times, but I've been writing, I'll say, a Cycling Fashion Week adjacent column for our, can now say this, actually, our good friends at escapecollective.com. So if you want to go over there, I've got 3 columns so far.
Yeah, the columns are great, and the comment sections are just as good. So definitely dive in there. If you're not already a subscribing member over there, it's worth the few bucks.
I'm a subscribing member. I do recommend paying for it. I pay for it because I listen to a lot of their podcasts and read articles and et cetera, et cetera. So that is, and they did not ask me to plug Escape at all, just for the record.
This is probably why you have been so, the podcast feed has been so quiet, because you've been cooking up columns over there,
Yeah, sure. Every 6 weeks.
Yeah. Is that it? Wow, time flies.
Something like that.
AI helps.
Our last episode was an AI generated episode that some people message us and ask, what is this? Who are these people? And that was us just putting portions of our Cycling Fashion Week group chat into an AI tool and producing a podcast.
Yeah, no offense to those people, but it's kind of like when your grandma gets like she has to buy iTunes gift cards to get your grandson out of jail or something, and you're like, Grandma, that wasn't real. How did you think that was real? But listen, some people, AI is getting good. That's what I'll say.
The voices sounded almost human. I do want to give a quick shout out to a cyclist named Bobby Bicycles who lives in Vancouver, because I think our AI podcast unfairly derided him. I don't remember exactly what, but send me a message afterwards, and I think, sorry, Bobby, it won't happen again. Anyway, yes, that's his legal name, if you're wondering.
It's not Robert Bicycles?
Roberto Bicicleta, I think.
That was AI. That part was AI, guys. When he did the accent, just keep that in mind.
This has nothing to do with anything, but a question for our listeners, and even you, Jake. I've been getting a lot of Instagram ads for Zara cycling kit lately. Is that something you've been seeing?
My algorithm has not. I've seen it. I have not clicked on it, though. I think I'm still recovering from Oakley and Coder ads, and I think that's my entire personality at this point, is just Oakley ads and throwback ads and ads for Oakley from the 90s. So no, I haven't seen too many of these ads. I haven't been served a ton of the ads, but I have seen the kit. I've yet to go into a Zara. It's Zara, right? Not Zara. I don't know.
I don't know. I've always said Zara, but I actually have
Yeah,
no
that
idea.
works. Yeah, it looks appropriately bad. I don't know. What do you think? Should we buy some?
I did actually send an email to, I found like a media email contact, and I sent an email asking if we could have a free pair to review. I never heard anything back.
With these tariffs coming in, like kit's about to be even more expensive.
Yeah, that's
You guys
true.
thought $400 for a jersey was was steep? Get ready to double that.
Jake, you wanted me to run down my gravel race that I did
Yeah, Warren.
today.
Warren did a gravel race today. I wanted to
Hmm.
do a little interview of Warren, who did appropriately. It sounded like, um, in my words. How did you feel out there? Season opener. To give
Hmm.
some background for everyone, it is currently early May in Toronto, Ontario, but it feels like February. I don't know about you. It still feels like we're in winter. I'm kind of down about it. But
Yeah.
but did that play into your day at all? Like, how are you feeling?
I'm tired. Yeah, no, the weather's not. We had pretty cold April, even by our standards. Weather's been bad. Jake and some other members on our team went to Michigan to do a gravel race a few weeks ago that I was supposed to go to, but I got sick, so I missed that out. So this was my first race. The race is called Scrappy Badger. It is in Baltimore, Ontario, which is about an hour and a half east of Toronto on the highway.
Shout out to Dan Marshall.
Yes, it is run by Dan Marshall, who runs Substance Projects, who runs a whole bunch of gravel and I think mountain bike races and various other things. And he does a really good job. Vents are really well run. The routes are good. You often win just free. Like today, I got a water bottle, not for winning anything, just for like signing up.
And I saw that the famous mugs that you get, or the famous pint glasses,
Mm-hmm.
the finisher pint glasses. Were there gummy worms in there? That's a plus.
No, not today.
Oh,
Though
okay.
I think he's trying to get rid of some overstock because the glass I got today said Screaming Squirrel, which is one of his other races.
Oh boy.
Whatever, free pint glass. I took it. The race was good. It wasn't too long. It's like 80 kilometers with about 1,300 meters of climbing. So what is that? 3,600 feet roughly or something? Or
Punchy though, right? There's some short and steep stuff in there
yeah,
from my
very
recollection.
punchy. Some ATV track, double track, then some crunchy gravel, bit of smooth gravel. Yeah, I did better than last year, so I'll take that.
What did you wear? Everyone's waiting to hear. What did you wear, Warren?
I wore our team skin suit
There you go.
uh, with leg warmers because it's actually quite cold. But I was like, do I really need these? I will probably overheat, but I actually didn't. Yeah, I kind of felt like shit for the first half. I don't know why. It just whatever. Or not like shit. I just didn't feel like I was doing my best. But then I don't know. Got like a first wind in the second half, and then yeah, finished strong. So I'll take that. It's funny though doing that race because I've done it 3 or 4 times now, and people go out really hard, but like the last 30K of it is pretty brutal. And so I was with a group that eventually went away from me, and I was like, these guys are going. They're not the front of the race, so I don't know how strong they are. They're going quite hard, and then sure enough, I passed nearly all of that group in the back in the last like 20-15K, I think.
Nice. Yeah, better to finish strong. Last time I did that race, I think I was pulled over on the side on the, halfway up the last climb, trying to shake out cramps, and that
Mm,
was a first because that was nasty. So better to actually finish strong than to not quite finish on the bike.
yeah. Also, there was a guy doing the race in road shoes, which was whatever. That I think that's a common thing on some gravel riders, like the Lifetime Grand Prix people do it. But it's funny because it had rained overnight and a bit in the morning, so there was a bunch of like really muddy sections. And I passed him. I see road shoes. I like, oh, he's a roadie, which I mean, I'm a roadie too, I suppose. But like, I also don't wear road shoes on a gravel race, especially when it's been raining. And yeah, sure enough, I passed him on a muddy downhill, and he was having a bad time.
What shoes was it? Were they white? I bet they were white.
White Shimano S Fire road shoes.
Oh no, my guy.
They're ruined for
They're
sure.
cooked now. Yeah, they'll be on Facebook Marketplace in 30 minutes. $100 OBO.
Probably for $400.
Wow, that's true. Yeah. Trying to recoup that cost, Oh,
Mm-hmm.
pre-tariff price, whatever. Let's go. We got news and notes.
Obviously, a lot of stuff has happened and come out since the last time we
Really?
recorded.
In
Yeah,
6 months, there's been news? Are you
yeah,
sure?
a few
Wow.
things. So we tried to just grab some more recent ones that popped out and seemed noteworthy. The first one was I wanted to talk about was Uno X, the well, they're not a world tour team. What are they?
Pro series, what do they call it now?
I
Yeah,
forget
it's
what they
the
is it World Pro team? I don't know, whatever. The next rung down.
UCI's got to figure that out. It's the
Yeah,
UCI Pro Team level, so that's the second tier versus the UCI World Team,
there you go.
which no one's ever said World Team.
Yeah,
That's
no one
just
ever does.
insane, but
Right.
that's it.
Anyway, they for what race was it?
Oh, oh God, what race was it? It wasn't Flesh Wallone, was it? One of the spring classics that is.
It might have been Flesh Alone, or was it Liège?
Yeah.
Anyway, they wore the 7-Eleven kit or tribute kit or whatever, and it was all over my Instagram feed. I thought it was a very well done tribute to the 7-Eleven team, but I just wanted to pose the question: is it hot or not?
It's gotta be resounding hot. I mean, I don't know. I think that kit holds a very special place in a lot of road cycling fans' hearts from years past, where kind of big legacy brands like that really splashed with these loud and
Mm-hmm.
adventurous kits. And I remember, I mean, I've in reading up on it and remembering different things, I think that was a pretty like, I don't want to say it was taboo to have 7-Eleven in the peloton, but I think it was kind of an eye turner, a head turner in terms of sponsorship. And I
Mm-hmm.
think they actually, don't quote me, but I think it was quite a good financial move in their case, because yeah, their riders did great, and it looks beautiful even on the Ridley bikes now, which
Yeah.
aren't the bikes that the original team were riding, but the livery, like the paint looks amazing. The helmets, the sweet protection helmets, they look fantastic too. Like, just, yeah, everything about it I think looked incredible.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's sort of what we've talked about before when you see world tour kits and it's just like parts of it are good, but it's not like cohesive, whether the helmet or the bibs, but they brought it all together. And I'm not a huge fan of Ridley bikes, but the like the look of them. I mean,
Compared to like when Alpecin did the denim thing, and like, I don't know, I think
mm-hmm.
that was
Yeah,
trying to be a bit throwbacky, and everyone kind of thought it was cute, and then it stuck around, and everyone was like, we're still doing this, and now they're in gray, and
yeah.
it's like, yeah, fine. But no, I mean, let's start a petition, because I know this is a hot take and you guys like Uno X's kit, but that ketchup and mustard just needs to go. Just needs to go. I just cannot stand it. So when I saw them pull up in that, I was like, that meme of the guy looking back at the one girl and the mad girlfriends beside him. We all know that meme.
Mm-hmm.
That dude was me, and the original woman on my right is the Uno X original kit, and you guys get it. The new girl is the yeah.
Is
Wow, I'm
7-Eleven.
explaining a meme. I'm so old and washed. Just like, listen to me explain this meme for 5 minutes.
Podcast is not a visual medium.
But we could get someone to make that meme. I mean, maybe AI can make that meme for
Oh,
us. I don't know.
probably can. We'll make that meme with AI and throw it up on the post when this episode goes out. I'm gonna jump ahead to what we have in the run sheet, as our friends at Escape Collective call the document of things we want to talk about.
Very organized over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I was just gonna skip ahead to just acknowledge that we didn't rate any of the new World Tour, or sorry, World Team kits.
Can we just bunch those two in together? Like the pro, let's just consider it one category: world teams and pro teams. I don't know.
Yeah. Normally, in the past couple of years, we've rated our favorite kits. Blah blah blah. We didn't do that. We're not going to do that now. But there's obviously some new ones, some redesigns, a lot, but also a lot of just rehash. But obviously, the biggest change, and the one I think our our target demographic audience would be most interested in, is the Jayco kit made by MAAP, which is, I mean, I'm sure you've all seen it by now. It came out 5 months ago, but purple jerseys, gray bibs, etc. I'm a pretty big fan. I did in my last column for Escape just like rattle off my top 10 kits this year, and I put the Jayco MAAP kit as number 2, partly to just kind of be contrarian, but I actually do think the little Trek is just like the best kit in the Peloton right now. However, this new Jayco MAAP kit has to be easily the best kit that the quote unquote Green Edge team has ever had, or whatever iteration the team name has been, but like far and away their best kit. Like it is a very nice kit.
Yeah, they've managed to somehow, and this is to me the most impressive part, they've made a Giant helmet look good. Giant, the bike brand who makes a lot of accessories and stuff. Historically, fantastic bikes, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Some of their accessory, they just look god awful. But this helmet, MAAP has taken it and they've brought it back to their labs, and all their cool people have looked at it and studied it, and it looks awesome. The whole thing looks great. The bikes look great. The TCRs look really nice. And yeah, Michael Matthews is like finally looking kind of stylish, because Jayco's had a bit of a rough go, in my opinion, the past few years. I think we'd all agree on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was 2 years ago we spent like 30 minutes just ragging on their kit. It was about the year when they had for the women's team, it was like pink accents, and then the men, it was just like blue men, pink women, and it was just, and then the kit design was awful. Anyway, thank you, MAAP. Thank you to former guest Jared, co-founder of MAAP. Whatever you did over there, we like it. Good job. I hope that's gonna go on for many years. Jake, you had a favorite you wanted to talk about.
Yeah. So I've historically been a fan of the Tricolore here on this podcast. And I mean, this, if you guys have been watching, the spring races, whether it's the stage race, specifically the stage racing, not so much in the classics, but my big pick this year is Team Polti Visit Malta. So this team, I believe, is a new team. And what they've done here is they've kind of, I don't know, I think they've brought it back, harkened it back to an era of just using big block colors. And what we've done here is nice, beautiful forest green sleeves, white chest, and bright red bibs. They're also riding Alberto Contador's bike brand Aurum. So for those unfamiliar, some people would call him disgraced, but other would call him legendary retired pro cyclist Alberto Contador.
Mm-hmm.
I think is hawking these bikes. They look great, in my opinion. And yeah, this kit, again, fairly clean, big Polti on the chest. Visit Malta, I guess, is the tourism company behind it, hawking it. And yeah, they stand out. I don't historically love red, but when it's done well, it's done well. Like kind of like the Lidl, where they just have a brand and they have a strong kind of palette, and it works. They're doing something weird around the hip with like a yellow and a green little flame thing, which I'm not feeling so much, but otherwise.
I mean, I've definitely seen them in a race and just, I don't know, not been paying that much attention, but they are pretty nice. The team's not that new. They've been around since 2018, actually, and they've had like different names as,
Has it always been Polti?
No, I don't think so. Because I
Okay.
remember like
Got it.
2-3 years ago, they had a Burger King logo on their butt.
Oh, that's the same team. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like 90% sure it was Contador's team that had that. And I remember we talked about it on this podcast in one of our early episodes, specifically because of the Burger King logo on the butt just being kind of hilarious. Yeah. But yeah, no, this is really a really solid kit. Honestly, like, did any other kits really change much? Not really. So
it's true. The group chats, I remember, I mean, I was talking about these kits, but the Kaya Rural Seguras RGA kit, it's a mostly green kit. Just butchered that like crazy. It's a Spanish team with a jersey with a mostly white and green shoulder design going on. It's pretty clean. But yeah, otherwise it's all pretty similar, down the line. It's you got some weirdos in there. Of course, the Tudor kit, I think is pretty clean.
Yeah.
A little bit different this year. It looks good.
Yeah, no, it's distinct. I have to get French Alex back on to talk about that because he's the watch king. So let's move on to some actual product releases that have happened more recently that felt worth talking about. Big one would be MAAP, again, MAAP, because they're always doing collabs with people. They have done a design, if you will, with the shoe company Quoc of the Grand Tour XC off-road shoe. And it's, that shoe model already exists, obviously, Quoc, but MAAP has done their sort of design take on it, and given like a purple tongue, a purple like leg pull, added like a green accent on the side, and like a light gray or purple thing at the side. I don't know. It looks quite different from the other Quoc colors of this shoe model. And then you got a lot of MAAP logos on here. I actually quite like the colors, but I would feel weird wearing a MAAP shoe for some reason.
They definitely went to Quoc and were like, "Hey, make this shoe alt road for us real quick." I feel like, and that's
Yeah.
kind of the vibe. But you're right, the palette is great. Yeah, the amount of MAAP logos is appropriate given that I mean that's kind of part of their thing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say our name a bunch, but yeah, it looks good. I don't know. It's like it's inoffensive. It's clean. What do you think about the dark tongue on the white shoe? Because that's always a bit of an interesting design choice. I think it works pretty well here.
I like it. Yeah. We've gone far past, peak white shoe ubiquity. Like, and I remember in our interview with Alonzo Tall, which I think was our last real episode, he canaled white shoes. And honestly, I feel like I'm almost there to agree with him. Though I appreciate the courage of wearing white shoes gravel off-roading, because you're committing to a cleaning regimen.
It has become though a little bit the norm now, which is kind of I think partly why a lot of us are kind of backing away from it because now
Mm-hmm.
every lifetime pro is white shoes, white socks, and it's like, dude, you're about to do Unbound. Like, what are you doing? And I get it. Like it looks they look cool even when they're dirty, but you're right, just that regimen is wild. I mean, the interesting thing about this shoe too is that they have made a couple functional changes. Like there is a pull tab at the back of the shoe, which I think is
Mm-hmm.
nice. I think in order to do a special edition, adding some actual different features to the shoe, not just the styling or the colors, is always fun. Kind of adds a bit of a specialty to it. I don't know if they're the same price. I think they're actually cheaper, which is weird. By $20, is that
Yeah,
right?
they are.
Canadian dollars?
In Canada, at least, they're $20 cheaper. That's kind of
Take that,
wild.
tariffs.
I have this pair of Quocs, but the lace version, so the Grand Tour XC lace, and I was wearing those today in my gravel race. And we've all don't need to talk about my feet, etc. But
We just did.
after my shoe odyssey, or cycling shoe odyssey, they're quickly becoming, I'd probably say, my favorite pair of shoes, actually. So that's I would endorse Quoc as a good shoe brand. However, their sizing is a bit wonky, as I normally wear a 45, but I'm a 46 in them. So that, I don't know, if you're listening to this and you're like, well, if Warren likes them, I must buy them. Just probably need to size up
Be prepared to order like 3 pairs of
for
shoes.
that. Yeah. Another one that I don't even know. I think I just saw this on Instagram. Like, it haven't been shared widely, but French brand Café du Cycliste has put out some new cycling sunglasses this year. And in particular, they have a model called Emile, which are pretty funky. The frame sort of goes under the lenses of the sunglasses, and it like kind of looks like some of the Rokas I've seen, but like,
I was gonna say, yeah, Roka. It's like
yeah,
the divorced Uncle Roka. It's kinda like the
yeah,
cool guy,
that's a
the
great
cool
way
uncle.
of describing Roka sunglasses, the divorced uncle. Anyway,
Hey, the Williams brothers wore them, right? People thought they were cool for a minute.
oh, I don't know that. Cafe du Cyclist has this kind of wild model where, like, there's also like these, they look like speed holes on the side for ventilation. And the frame we're looking at has like a tortoiseshell look, but it's just, I don't know. It is, I don't know who could pull these off wearing them. Like, the male model looks ridiculous wearing them. Like
It's tough, and the photography for them isn't. I'm not to be like a jerk, but it's not fantastic. I look at those and I think, what's gonna really make me put down 400 big ones?
well, that's
That,
another thing. They're
that's tough.
$400. Like,
Yeah, that's tough. I think those Oakley Ketos or Katos rather are about that, and they
yeah,
look like they were like AI generated from the future. I mean, these just kind of look like they came off the rack at Shoppers. No,
yeah. No,
no
they kind of do, and I can get really good Oakley glasses for like 2 something, and also just the arms of the glasses that go, they just look super low, and I'm sure that was an intentional design choice, but it just looks goofy.
And not to be like a tech nerd, but like, is there anything interesting about the lenses or anything? I mean, I don't believe they're polarized. I don't believe, like, I see UV rating, but like everything's got a UV rating. Dollar store glasses have a UV rating.
Here, I'll read the description.
Oh yeah, please do.
Technical protective eyewear for cycling and high intensity sports that doesn't compromise on good looks. Emile is a high performance pair of sunglasses that are designed for the sharp end of races when the velocity, blah, 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 blah. No.
I'm surprised you were able to read that. The font is so serifed, it like hurts my brain.
Uh-huh. I'm actually a pretty big fan of Cafe du Cycliste kit in general, but these sunglasses are a pretty hard no for me.
I feel like this is kind of a clear indication of just like some brands need to kind of just stick with what they do well. And we're going to talk about in a little bit a brand doing some new products as well, which is interesting. But yeah, like I agree. I think Cafe du Cycle, they do some cool kit, some interesting kind of counter to your typical kind of pro team styled and fitted jerseys and shorts, which is fun. But yeah, like these don't seem to fit that aesthetic. Although maybe they do. I don't know. I just don't know who wants these.
French people, I guess. That reminds me actually that our good friends Attaque, the Australian kit brand, it was a while ago now, but they put out some sunglasses one season, I think, and I really like them, and I almost bought a pair, and then I didn't because I had yet to take the next step to actually spending money on cycling sunglasses at that point. I was still doing like AliExpress Oakley ripoffs.
Ooh, your eyes hate you for that.
Yeah.
Don't.
No,
Your
I
eyes
know.
hate you.
Anyway, I should have asked them why they stopped doing that. I mean, you probably
They
maybe it
did
was,
do the Brico collab, I guess. So maybe they're just like, we're just gonna collab glasses now. But these
yeah.
were their own glasses, you're saying.
I'm pretty sure it was their own. They did like 2 models. One was like pretty standard looking, and then another was pretty funky looking, but in a good way.
I mean, MAAP did the collab with 100%. People seem to like
Oh yeah.
those. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. Yeah, stick to collabs maybe, with actual glasses companies. I don't know.
Yeah, like that's another thing. Like I don't want to drop $400 on sunglasses if I don't even know if this is the first time they made them, to be honest. But like,
It's got a
yeah,
little bird on it though. It's got their little bird on there, Oh wow, are those the new Emiles? Like said no one? Well, maybe at the mullet, There might be some vibes. You go to the mullet next week, Warren?
maybe we'll see.
Okay, I hear it's getting fast.
For our listeners, I think we've mentioned it before. The mullet is a weekly hill smash fest group ride in Toronto Thursday nights. For some reason, happens at 6 p.m. in the heart of rush hour traffic. It's fun. It's a bit sketchy, just because you're cutting through rush hour traffic. There's definitely some interesting looks there. So yeah,
Yeah.
the meal would definitely be a mullet look.
If
For
you want to
sure.
do a normalized 350 watts, while Carrie's dropping off their kid to Taekwondo, like that's it. There you go. Might be scary, but might be worth it.
Moving on, the next one, a brand that we'd talked about over the years. I think at one point, the last time we did a top 5 kit brands, which was like very long time ago. I think it was either in mine or Tony's top 5, was this Italian brand La Passione, and the reason for that was like their pricing was decent, the styling was clean and simple, and they sort of all of a sudden just went under like last summer. Just kind of out of nowhere, there was this like cryptic message on the website being like, "We're trying to decide what to do next." Anyway, so La Passione's done, which is like a bit of a shame because actually I have 2 pair of bib shorts from them still, and honestly, some of the most comfortable bibs I have still to this day. So that's a shame. Anyway, they seemingly have relaunched as a new brand. I don't even know how to say this. It's Noove, Noove. And what's funny is it the website looks almost identical to La Passion's website, and so does the kit. Even the color palette looks the same. The only difference is on the website, the lead headline message is no overstock, no overproduction, more than a name. Which I have not Googled Noove to see if that means something in Italian.
I'm on it. And Noove is 9, but add an extra O. Add an extra no and you get 10. I don't know. No, it doesn't. That makes no sense. They're definitely hawking the like all these other kit brands are killing the planet except us, which is interesting. So I don't know. Are they just making less? Or are they using? It looks like they're using some recycled fabrics like everyone else is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that creating a new kit brand is really helping the environment.
I was gonna say, is that
We don't
not
need
kind
that.
of against the whole like ethos and the whole? If you go about us, there's about 10 beautiful panels about how everyone's killing the environment with their kit brand. So interesting. Who knows? I mean, it looks good though. It looks clean, simple.
Well, it seems like the About Us also acknowledges the La Passion.
Yeah,
Because it's like 10 years ago, our founders embarked on a
yeah.
journey to blah, blah, blah. I'm not reading all this. Oh, man.
No, it's a lot. I mean, they talk a lot about overproduction. So
A
I mean,
false promise of sustainability. Wow. Oh, man. I'm going to have to read this, talk more about it next episode.
sounds like what they're saying is none of their stuff is going to go on sale because they're not going to make enough. So have fun paying regular price for your blue jersey and your tote bibs. I
They
don't
did
know.
have a lot of sales when it was La Passion.
So there you go. Maybe it was probably some, one of their founders just went crazy.
Yeah, probably.
And they got rid of him. But yeah, they got a little new little star logo on the side there. Really thick band at the bottom of the jersey.
I forget what they had this. La Passion had this like, I forget what it was, like a 3-word phrase in English underneath the zipper on all their jerseys that was so cringeworthy.
Yeah, it looks like there's some words on
I
these.
forget what it was. I probably have it on. I have one jersey somewhere.
For the love of cycling, inspired by the future. That's what the new one says.
Is it on the jersey?
Oh yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, right where you'd get your little star tattoo on your near your just above your genitals there.
Okay.
Your hip.
Yeah. So they
You know,
haven't learned.
you know.
They haven't learned from that to maybe not write cringeworthy English phrases on their jerseys.
Yeah, and it's interesting. So I guess maybe this has to do with their whole, talk about volume production and how it's killing the environment. Each time I'm in the N1 jersey white here, and you select the size and it shows exactly how many units left. So XL, there's 14 in stock. Small, there's 16 in stock, and that shows green. So I think what they're doing is they're trying to scare people into buying before they run out.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. False scarcity. That's a common online sales tactic.
And like for 150 euro, not cheap. Not crazy, but not cheap.
As I said, like the La Passion bibs, and these look very similar, are like super, super comfortable. So I don't see myself buying another pair of these, but like interesting they're back. Our friend Nick, our one-time co-host Nick, uh, said this name sounded. It reads like the name of like a streaming subscription service.
Yeah, exactly. Now streaming on Noove. Yeah, I think I watched Breaking Bad on Noove, or was it Sopranos? I forget.
Who needs another kit brand? Like there's tons of kit brands now. There's too many. Maybe you should have just take the L and do something else. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Just buy Jack Roots. That easy. You're right though. These bibs do look good.
They're good. The straps are actually like the best part. Anyway, speaking of, well, this isn't really new things, but it's more in the line of Café du Cycliste branching into sunglasses. Fizik has branched into helmets with a collection of 4 helmets, including like I would say 2 pure road helmets, one a bit more aero, a mountain bike looking helmet with a visor, and a very aero helmet with a integrated eye visor. I think I've mentioned like I'm reasonable fan of Fizik things. I had a pair of their shoes before that I liked. The Arione is the most uncomfortable goddamn saddle I've ever ridden in my life, but different saddles for everybody, different folks. So yeah, I don't know, Jake, what do you think of these helmets?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say I like them. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a fan. I'm the Kudo Arrow. So there's the Kudo and the Kudo Arrow. The Kudo Arrow, it looks like they shrunk wrapped the front of it, which is sick. But here's the killer. This is what I really like. I'm not gonna lie. So there's one color here in silver, and this is a first for me. I've never seen this in helmets, but I hope we're in the era of helmet spoilers, because
Mm.
if you look at this helmet, there's a protruding piece of plastic, and I swear to you, it looks like a spoiler, like it's bolted on a Honda Civic. It looks amazing. And again, this is not going to be for everyone, but no, I'm a big fan. And I mean, helmets are tough because they're very personal and the fit is very specific. But no, I'm all in on the new Fizik line of helmets. They also come with a bag, and each helmet comes with a light that's integrated, which I like that. They're giving you free stuff. Otherwise you'd have to buy that separately. So I appreciate it. But yeah, the helmet spoiler hot take, I'm a huge fan. That thing's gonna win me a couple crits. Let's see.
I actually kind of like the spoiler, especially because it's like a neon yellow, and I'm into the silver. I still run white helmet, white shoes 95% of the time, but I also like having something different, something fun to try out at times. And that's silver Kudo Arrow helmet seems like honestly it'd be kind of awesome.
Right?
Uh, so there's also, I think Physique, they used to at least make a pair of silver road shoes so you could like
Oh
go
yeah.
matchy if you wanted.
And the Kuni, so the Kuni, I believe it's pronounced, the triathlon helmet, it looks like an Apple product. Like it has what looks like to be like ventilation for your laptop on the side. Like it looks very industrial. I kind of like it, and I historically hate these styles of helmets, but I think it looks kind of cool.
It's a triathlon helmet, so I do hate it. But
Yeah, I know.
uh, you know, in the scheme of things, actually, yeah, it, it's not that offensive. I think it was Italian Alex described these Fizik helmets as a cross between like Poc and Abus, maybe,
Yeah, 100%.
which is fair. And shout out Abus, team sponsor of our Jake and I's
Exactly.
team.
Love
Actually,
that helmet.
Abus helmets, I will say, first started wearing them last year when they became a team sponsor, and they're actually. I used to be unsure about them because their logo is not the most aesthetically pleasing, but the helmets themselves are actually great. I wore one today, and it was a what is that color that I got it's like the same one as yours.
Oh, what is it called? The name of it? Oh, I forget.
It's like a
Something insane.
purple blue.
Yes, it's a beautiful fade. Now it's Game Changer version 1. We have mixed feelings about the second generation of the Game Changer.
Mm-hmm.
I still think it's okay, but yeah, the the stitching, the finishing, everything about the helmet's great. But these physique buckets, they're looking all right.
I also like that the Kudo, the non-aero one, has bronze colorway. So
Do
again,
you like the bronze? I actually don't really
not
like the bronze too
I
much.
I
I'm like,
don't
yeah,
really, but I appreciate that
yes,
they're again doing something than just white and black. I agree with you. I agree. I like how they've made this like integrated rear light thing a good option. Sometimes it's okay to be safe. Sometimes.
mix that helmet with a Vento Ferex carbon. Their shoes, the new colors looking absolutely bonkers. I don't know. We don't
Oh
have to
yeah.
get into that, but my goodness,
No,
just
I know the
incredible.
exact model you mean. The gravel off road, whatever mountain bike shoe, and yeah, the colorways they put out in that model
Ooh,
are.
ooh.
I love it. They just put out a new one. It's called
Yep,
like lime
lime
electric.
purple. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's unreal. It's amazing.
it kind of matches the colorway of my standard, which is my gravel and cross bike. So I'm kind of tempted to get a pair
Velcro's back.
Velcro and a boa.
Yeah,
How's
yikes.
I don't know
So
how Velcro is going to hold up in dirt and gravel though.
just don't open it. If you leave it Velcro down, it's fine. Just don't try to readjust it at all. Clean them first.
I'm bringing up this one Sorry, Jake, I dropped this in
No,
last minute.
listen. I'm catching up to speed. I'm liking it. We're on the fly
And
right
the
now.
reason I'm adding it in is our friends at Universal Colors, so previous podcast guest, they still send us press releases. Them and Attacker still send us press releases when they release something new, which we appreciate. I do try to reply to them. They sent just a lookbook and stuff to their new spring summer 2025 collection. So I want to bring it up just because they went out of the way to send it to us. And like I was looking through it and I'm just kind of like, what's different?
It looks identical. I mean, and I give them kudos for giving you like 58 different color choices. I guess this is what Noove is aiming at when they're shooting their shot against producing too much, because we've got about let me count them, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different universal colors of the mono men's short sleeve jersey. But yeah, I mean, hey, they're kind of they've been doing it for a while. They know it works for them, I guess. And you know, you're right though. They look the same? Question mark. You know, like I don't know.
Yeah, I guess the colors are different, but I mean, one thing I've always appreciated about their brand is I feel like because of the amount of colors they offer in the jerseys, and I don't think there's 10 color bibs, but they do have a lot of different color bibs. But like, I feel like if you just want to have like solid colors and maybe try out some kind of different weird color combos, this is like, I'd say it's the brand to do it with, because they just offer so many different options. And I'm looking at the prices though. I feel like their prices have gone up, because I seem to remember they were a bit more approachable, but like still like not cheap, but like, in terms of when comparing to your Rafas or Panormal or whoever, they were like more like mid-tier. Oh wait, I guess I'm looking in Canadian, so they're actually no, this feels
Don't
a
say
bit
they're
expensive.
affordable. Don't yeah. I mean, $375 for a bib. That's kind of going right. That's up there. That's kind of the premium tier, right? At this point.
I think they have
400.
different tiers though, because I think there's like cheaper.
Oh yeah, you've got
They got like a 250 bib. Ugh, is that cheap
Yep.
now? I
Wow,
don't think
listen,
so. Well, I mean,
it's true.
it's cheaper on the end of like brands that I would actually want to wear. You still have your your Garneaus and your Louis Garneaus and your
Arnold's at Costco now, though. I don't know.
Anyway, all I mean is, don't get me wrong. I don't want somebody writing in and be like, you don't have to pay $250 for a pair of bibs. It's like, yeah, but I don't want to wear the stuff that costs like $100. Those were the kind of comments on my first or one of my columns for Escape.
Yeah,
because
everyone should go right now to that comment section, because Warren gets absolutely roasted for his elitism.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
which this is what we're here for, right? Like, people aren't getting the joke.
Yeah, I actually invited them to roast me. It was fine, but I did. One of the columns was like building kit with different price tiers, and I ended with $1,000 kit, which was just bibs and a jersey, which I went out of my way to find really expensive, or maybe it wasn't. I don't remember what it was. It was a lot of money. Anyway, but even on the cheap one, people were saying it was like not cheap enough. The cheap tier I did was like black bibs and AliExpress spec sell. That's it. Which are they
still around?
They're still around. And as I said in my column, I would never, as somebody who has owned a spec sell jersey, I would never recommend anyone buy that. It retains the stench of BO after one ride forever. It doesn't breathe, but it's $25. So, I just kept scrolling down and I found there's like a women's jersey that has like a graphic and some stuff in universal colors that is
really,
yeah, Spectrum. I don't think this is new as part of this new thing. Anyway, I guess they do. They have a like a gilet, an iridescent gilet they've been going for a while that I quite like. I've never bought one myself, but I've seen some people in Toronto with them. If you want solid colors, I'd say Universal Colors is a good bet for that, and they've added some new colors, I guess.
That Spectrum stuff is kind of sick, actually.
Mm-hmm.
What you're looking at, that's a nice kit with the bibs. Okay,
I don't know how I missed that before.
We see you. We see what you're doing.
Please keep sending us emails.
And if you send Kit, Tony might come back. Who knows?
Yeah. Send us some kit to review.
If you guys
Tony
make
will come
pickleball
twice.
shorts, if you make pickleball shorts, send them over.
Hey, what are you doing? I don't know, I'm just fucking tossing bikes in the river, bro.
And now it's time for our last segment today, our signature segment, Into the Canal, where we take something we don't like in cycling culture, and throw it into Montreal's beautiful Lachine Canal, or something we like, we give it a chameleon as an ode to Chameleon Oud, the hardest climb in the world that Tadej Pogacar absolutely annihilated last summer at the Grand Prix Cycliste de Montreal. Anyway, I have also been doing this segment in my columns, and I kind of feel like people just like maybe skip past it. I don't know. Anyway, we're doing it here. We're going to end with it tonight because while we still do have a backlog of We Rate Your Bikes, I'm pretty cooked from this race.
They're all zero. They're also all zeros, guys.
They're all zeros. We rated them all.
Bikes. Exactly. They're already rated.
Yeah. If you sent us your bike sometime in the last 2 years and we never rated on the show, it's a zero. Related to that, I'm going to playfully, I'm going to give a canal to our friends down under, the Nero Show, because they have, I think they've flat out taken they have, quote, borrowed our We Rate Your Bike free segment and are now doing their own bike rating segment where they rate listeners' bikes on their show. And I mean, definitely we're the first people to ever rate bike submission photos. Definitely the first
I never saw it before.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Certainly the first podcast to do it. Definitely, I'm not going to look into that, but I'm pretty confident. And so now they're doing it, and I'm going to count for that. Like, doesn't matter. We haven't recorded in 6 months. We intellectual copyright, all that stuff. Definitely, come on, guys. Stop. Maybe they thought we were done, so they could just, next thing you know, they'll be doing like a canal section. I don't know what other sections we have other than those two that are ownable. Actually, but related to that, Tony and I were supposed to go on as guests of the Nero Show, but then Tony was just too busy and couldn't get organized, and then it just, as these things go, never happened.
Sorry, are you canaling Tony? Is that what you're saying? As well? You're canaling Tony?
Yeah, sure. Oh, canal Tony for not making time to be on the Nero Show. It's like, listen, they could have had me on, but we all know you guys want Tony on there too. Like, he's the, can't just be me.
What did Nick say? His favorite legacy host?
Tony is Nick's favorite Cycling Fashion Week host, and he just said that in front of all of the hosts who have ever been on the show in the chat.
Very, very wild take.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an interesting take.
Anyway, so yeah, Chris and Jesse at the Nero Show, if you're listening, you're in the canal, but please still have us on your podcast. We'd love to do it sometime still. Maybe Tony will actually make time. You just have to send him something for free.
I'm going to chameleon. Now you went and you canaled some hosts or some other personalities in the cycling space. I'm going to go ahead and put the crown on a guy that I've been following, and I wouldn't really say he's in the fashion sphere, but he's more of in the culture, and he's for the culture.
Mm-hmm.
And he's doing a lot of great content on Instagram, and that is Mr. Road Toads. If you guys don't follow Road Toads on Instagram and you want a great follow, he does some interesting reels. He's got a great personality, great delivery, very funny guy. I'd love to have him on. One of these days I'll DM him.
I did, actually.
Okay.
Because he also was asking people to send their bikes for him to rate and roast, also stealing our content. And I sent him a message. I just replied to it saying, no, you send us your bike and we'll rate it. And I don't think he's ever read it.
Fair. I mean, kids these days, like,
well, he's got busy. Like 30,000 followers, doesn't he?
He's doing all right.
Yeah, he's definitely a little bigger than.
I think maybe Alonso could ask for us, maybe, like, and then he'd come on with us, maybe. But yeah, he's done some crazy stuff. He's associated with our other friends over at the Cub House. They're at Team Dream. So just always looking stylish. And
we were supposed to have Team Dream on last year too. I'd never.
Well, we did a live interview when we were down in
California. We emailed back and forth a little bit about having them on, and then they were in Italy for like the whole summer or something, and
they seem very cool.
Yeah.
So I get it. They're on Tony time, I guess. All these cool people out here, the pickleball stuff. I get it. It's fair.
Yeah, I second Jake's chameleon of Road Toads. He's very funny. He does like reviews of like World Tour races, kits, bikes.
Yeah.
Cycling, like he had a recent one just about like cycling headwear.
Yes.
Yeah. And he had a like a US national champs jersey design that sold out like immediately. Was it Team Dream or was it with Endo Customs? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was a very funny design. It maybe hasn't aged super well in the last couple months with
not for us Canadians.
Yeah, not for us Canadians.
But in general, you're right.
Yeah. But it has like a helicopter on it and eagle, and anyway, even though it's sold out, you could go check it out on his Instagram and see what it looks like. But yeah, Road Toads he's a good follow. If you're listening, please come on.
Please. Tony would love it.
What happened to Nick? I thought he was going to come back. What's he doing?
He's also, I guess, busy shooting playoff hockey and being a big time celebrity in the photography space. I get it. Good question. Would you say he's your least favorite photographer? Maybe?
No, Nick's a great photographer, but I just like he was going to come to the race today. He was like, no, I decided I'd rather sleep. I don't know. That doesn't sound to me like somebody's that busy, but
I think he's watching Mortal Kombat, the live action Mortal Kombat movies.
Yeah.
Which, respect. They're terrible, but they're a watch.
All right. That is it for this latest and greatest episode of Cycling Fashion Week. I just realized I forgot at the beginning to intro it as the world's only podcast dedicated to cycling fashion, aesthetic, and design. And honestly, even though it's been 6 months, I think we're still the only ones doing that. I'm kind of waiting for like somebody to start there. Maybe it'll be Road Toads, and that's fine. He's pretty good. So
what's his name? Matt over there. You guys interviewed him. What's his name? Oh, man, this is super
Matt Stevens?
Yeah. How does he not have cycling fashion?
He's got his like YouTube show though, the Cafe Ride, which again, great watch.
Check that out.
We talked about it during our interview with him. And if you haven't listened to our interview with Matt Stevens, I'd recommend going back listening to him. He's a great guy. It was a great interview. Yeah, anyway, thanks for waiting around this. Also, shout out to Xavier, who is a new coworker of mine who apparently already listened to this podcast. And now we work at the same day job, which is, I never thought that would happen. It's kind of weird. Weird coincidence. Not weird that he listens. Anyway, if you're listening, this is a test. If you aren't, I'm going to tell your boss.
Is that you? I thought when you said Xavier, I thought you meant
no, I'm not his boss. I'm not his boss.
I thought you meant Trudeau. I thought you were shouting at Trudeau's kid. That was weird.
Is that his kid's name?
Zav? Yeah. Hot new hip hop artist. Go look that up.
Trudeau's Passione, man. It's all about Carney,
There you
go. This is veering way off topic.
We're a political fashion podcast now.
All right. Thank you for listening. We will be back soon to hopefully review some eyewear. And I don't know, maybe some other brands will decide to send us some stuff to review again because we're back on the horn, and then again, if you want Tony on the podcast, send us something. You can DM us and we'll give you his home address.
Even if it's a email. Stinky old jockstrap for his summer hockey men's league, which seems like a huge cope. But yeah, get back on your bike. Like, what are you doing?
These games are at 10 p.m.
Yeah, exactly.
10 p.m. There's no way he's getting up at 5 a.m. for a bike ride.
Men will literally do anything except go to therapy, like men's league hockey. That's kind of therapeutic, though, Tony. I appreciate it.